I don't even know how I would spell that. Fucking daily. Damn. Alright, let's see. Alright, what is good, people? Let's see. Let's check this out. I think I'm live now. It says I have excellent connection, all that good stuff. I see myself typing, so I guess it was doing it while I was getting this Twetch ready. Just going. I don't even know if anybody is in here. I'm gonna be doing our Friday edition, right? I mean, it's Friday, so got a few things I want to talk about. So that and Twitch Culture fucking Daily. What you guys doing? So I'm putting together a Twitch right now, and I got a few scenes set up. Want to teach people how to make this relay widget. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff going on. I wasn't really sure how this thing worked with the stream key, if it was gonna go right, and I didn't have any of that intro music. Alright, cool. Let's see if I can finish up this Twitch, get some people in here, and I'll get everything started. Alright, cool. Got it. Also, if you're in Discord, if you would like, or if you're in here and you want to join in on the chat, I'm gonna have a lot of fun today. Duke, if you want to jump in, let me know. I'm in Discord. I've been waiting for you all. I thought we were gonna go live, so if you're down, let me know, and we'll do this. Put out this Twitch right now. Alright, awesome. I'm gonna give it about 2 more minutes, and then I'm just gonna get into what I want to get into. It's Friday, right? Or am I tripping? Yeah, it's Friday, right? Yeah. Alright, cool. Wait a couple moments, see if anybody shows up. We got a couple people. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna show you guys how to make some money today. You guys could sell some BSB. Twetch Culture Daily later. There's a bunch of good Twetches out there. Alright, awesome. I got OBS set up, I got everything set up. And essentially, what I wanted to go over, and I thought the boys were going to be here as well, but if you guys jump on here, it'll be easy for me to just get you in on here. But I really wanted to go over kind of how cool it is to actually make something out of this whole entire coronavirus thing, right? So it went off from all of a sudden everything is down, you know, um, out of a job. Not, it's just not the same as what it used to be, right? And everybody's essentially saying that what can you do while you're stuck in this COVID thing, right? So everybody's like, why don't you go out and do something? Why don't you not waste time while you're on lockdown or whatever the case is? And there's been a lot of people that have been doing that, and they've actually not only been being productive, but maybe even more productive than what they were before COVID. Not saying that staying in your house every day is a good thing or whatever the case is, but I definitely don't think it's a bad thing. And by the way, if you want to jump on, holler at me in the Discord. Anybody that wants to jump on, we'll have a good time today. Want to try to kind of go over what COVID has kind of changed in my life, right? And I think after this, I'm gonna be done talking COVID or whatever the case is. But I have, I really got inspired by Cosmos, um, with the whole programming thing, and I've done a little bit of coding in the past, kind of messed around with that. So I definitely want to touch on that as well. Big things happening with RetroTwetch. RetroTwetch now implementing Boost, which is freaking amazing. Definitely want to show that off to everybody. Josh is just an example of that inspiration that even during this COVID, he's finding ways to prosper. He's finding ways to make money. He's going above and beyond. There's something that isn't on Twitch, so he goes out and he gets it done. Or, there's something that he wants to do, he gets it done. And I've always wanted to do coding, so that was a big inspiration watching Gage interview Cosmos in regards to learning how to program and then being able to talk to Josh and seeing all the cool stuff. But in regards to that, my brother told me about something called Trivium curriculum. And I don't know if you guys agree. I have a 14-year-old, and I swear some of the homework that she would bring home in elementary is just harder to do than probably most stuff that you really need in regular day life, the way that they're teaching it. But it's all going within that whole conspiracy that they're trying to dumb down the nation. And I truly believe that when they changed everything around, they essentially cut the parent off from being able to teach their kid how they've been teaching them for years and years and years. So my brother was telling me something about Trivium curriculum, and it's what they were using back in the medieval days on how you teach. So that's something I want to go over as well. There's a lot of cool things happening, a lot of money being made on uh on the blockchain with BSV, a lot of different ways to earn. Dookie, you're probably one of the masters of earning BSV. And again, with that widget, I'm going to try to show a few people how to earn some BSV as well. And really, really freaking huge, uh, Mr. Alex Agut himself commented on one of our YouTube videos and said that he wants to go live and talk Hand Cash Friends, Hand Cash Connect. He says the reason it's not out, it's because it's coming out in spring. So yeah, look forward to talking to him. He's actually in the Discord group right now as well too. So if you guys are in your Discord, in our Discord channel, he's in there as well. So any questions that you have for Alex Agut, it would probably be a good idea to leave them in the comments of this video, leave them in a Twitch, get on Discord. Maybe there's some spicy things or something of that nature. But I really want to go ahead and get into this. I actually really want to get into this with Dookie and Animal and Hunter. God knows where he is. I think I've done everything to try and reach him aside from literally call him on his phone number. which I'm about to do that through WhatsApp. But let's get right into it. So when I first got that inspiration of wanting to start programming, everybody was like JavaScript or Python. You know, C++ is amazing, but you want to start off with a program like programming language like JavaScript, right? So everybody talks good about JavaScript. It's very popular. It's I guess it's kind of standalone. I don't really know too much about it. Again, I'm just learning things right now, and hopefully somebody sees this, even if it's only one fucking person, and kind of gets inspired, especially in times like this where we're economically we're probably going to take a humongous hit, and who knows how much money or how much you're going to be able to hold on to from your savings. So instead of paying that $30 a month to a company like Squarespace, if you plan on becoming a entrepreneur, you could learn how to do HTML and do it yourself. So I really wanted to do a lot of things with the Twetch SDK, right? So I have this obsession with Twetch. I'm a hardcore Twetcher, right? So I want to do my own features. I want to do my own things, kind of like what Josh Hensley is doing. And the way to do that would be with using JavaScript. Um, so I was like, man, everybody says JavaScript is a good way to start. So why don't I go ahead and get started with JavaScript? So I'm going to run you guys through exactly what happened when I went to learn JavaScript. So I come to home and I'm reading JavaScript tutorial. And by the way, this was a website that Josh Hensley recommended to me. I asked him, what's a good platform for where I could learn some JavaScript? So I could start doing things, so I could start building as well. This is pretty cool. And he was like, it's super fucking easy. Just get on there and get on w3schools.com. Go to the JavaScript tutorial and you'll be programming in no time. So I'm like, all right. I'm feeling all confident. I'm like, all right, this sounds great. So I come in here, JavaScript tutorial, I come to the home, and I start looking around the JavaScript tutorial, right? JavaScript is the programming language of HTML and the web, which I guess so. At the time, I was thinking, do I need really HTML and Java? I mean, do I need HTML or does JavaScript replace it? So it says JavaScript is easy to learn. That's even better than the first one, right? So this tutorial will teach you JavaScript from basic to advanced. Example in each chapter. With our Try It Yourself editor, you can edit the source code and view the result. So easy enough, right? And I like to learn by example. I think that's a great thing because if you could actually read the instructions, see what they were doing, modify that, and then kind of take it all in and be able to break it down, it really does make it an easy way to learn. It's extremely straightforward. So I'm like, all right, my first JavaScript. Click me to display the date and time. So click it, boom, pretty cool, right? So come over here, try it yourself, and then I start seeing this. I'm like, well, this is HTML. So click me to display date and time. Let's find that here. So that's around here. So it's something within here is what I'm seeing at the time. And then I'm like, document.getElementById. I was like, what the hell is an element? So I go back to JavaScript and I start looking for elements and I can't find it. I can't find what elements are aside from in here and finding HTML elements. So elements are something, I guess, that's not even within JavaScript. It's something that JavaScript uses from HTML. It uses an element within HTML. So I was like, man, if I have to go through this tutorial and look every single time that I'm going through something, I'm like, all right, let me go a little bit further. So let's learn a little bit more about JavaScript. I'm like, all right, I already had to get out of the example, go back, look out what getElementId is, what an element is. So I figure out that it's part of HTML. I'm like, all right, great. I did a little bit of HTML years and years and years ago just for shits and giggles, right? Um, so I'm like, all right, whatever. So we recommend reading this tutorial in sequence listed in the left menu, which is over here. So from top to bottom. So I'm literally at home, right? So I go through this. Why study JavaScript? JavaScript is one of the 3 languages all web developers must learn. 1. HTML to define the content of web pages, CSS to specify the layout of web pages, and then JavaScript to program the behavior of web pages. So I was like, I'm kind of like barely able to swim, and without even knowing, I'm jumping off the deep end, right? So without even knowing, I think I'm jumping into, 2.5, 3 feet of water, boom, 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 and I'm jumping off into the freaking deep end, and I'm drowning. Because I constantly have to go back. So my brother, and it's almost like everybody says that there's no such thing as coincidences. And I truly, truly believe that. Because I've always wanted to do programming, but I never felt that I had the patience to do it. And I finally feel like I do have the patience to do it. Because back then, instead of wanting to go back and learn HTML, I would have just tried to force my way forward and tried to learn JavaScript. So my brother was breaking down Trivium curriculum. And I had never heard of that, kind of like I never heard of Austrian economics before, right? So when he started breaking down what this Trivium is, and I believe I have a reference of it here, it's grammar, seeking knowledge in memorizing a broad base of facts, logic, growing in understanding, asking why and how, rhetoric, bearing fruit in wisdom, applying and integrating subjects. And what makes that grow is the truth. Now, the way nowadays, in my opinion, that teachers are teaching with all these new curriculums where it's like for 2 plus 2, they make it as hard as a calculus problem and then expect their parents to help them out with that problem and have it done in that exact manner is ridiculous. Why reinvent the wheel, right? The wheel is perfect. Yes, you could improve upon the wheel, but if you're reinventing the wheel and it's worse, then why use it? So Trivium is almost like a master apprentice type of a way of doing a curriculum. So it kind of focuses more on one type of a subject. It's like an apprenticeship. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the patient thing. And JavaScript is gonna be my goal. I'm gonna make it here. I truly am. I know I'm gonna make it here because I really, really want to. And I understand to make it here, I have to start here with HTML. But with Trivium learning as well, not only do you want to learn just the basics, the foundations, the fundamentals, you want to know the history behind it as well. So me and my brother, we talked for hours and hours and hours about the conversation, but if I go too deep into it, I'll probably just veer off for a little while. So I got off the JavaScript thing and I started talking to my brother, and then this whole RelayX widget that I've been wanting to do was bothering me, right? So on top of having all other types of stuff going on, I'm like, man, I'm gonna put this widget on our website on twetchcast.com. So I go through here, and at first it makes it seem like you just copy and paste it, right? This is from somebody who doesn't even really know HTML, right? So now I have this obsession trying to get this widget going, which is kind of distracting me. But at the same time, I'm feeling like I'm learning a little bit as well. So I spent literally all night trying to figure out how to get this widget onto the website, and I let that distract me. But I really wanted to get it done because I felt like it would be a cool puzzle. So I finally got it figured out, and I'm going to teach you guys today on how to do this. And you don't even need your own website to do this, and you can earn BSV as a referrer for RelayX.io. Before we do that, I'll do that kind of towards the end of the tutorial. And again, if there's anybody in the chat that wants to go ahead and jump in, I have OBS ready to where I could just get you set up through Discord. Let me know if you guys want to jump on. If not, I'm just gonna do this thing for a little bit. And Dookie, if you're still here, if you want to jump on, man, that would be great. So we could do Twetch Culture Daily in a little bit. Got a bunch of good links set up for that as well. And I've already went through some of these things here on the left. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that I do aside from this, but I have been trying to focus on getting it done because I do want to come out of this whole entire quarantine with having learned at least something, whether it's extremely useful or just something that can help me out further through life with simple things. But I went through this, and again, going back to Trivium learning, I wanted to learn a little bit more about the history. And the cool thing about W3 schools, it actually kind of has like that kind of like Trivium curriculum, because it does tell you a little bit about the history of HTML and about www. So HTML is the standard markup language for web pages. With HTML, you can create your own websites. HTML is easy to learn, and it really is. The great thing is JavaScript is probably easy to learn as well, but it makes it so much easier if you have that backbone of understanding HTML. And trust me, it is easy, because if my old ass could learn this, I'm telling you right now, anybody can learn this. So I guess since the boys aren't here, there's nobody on here with me, I'm just gonna kind of run through it like I did, and hopefully somebody will get some value out of it. And I don't mind going through it again, because again, repetition, practice makes perfect, and I do want to perfect this. And that episode with Cosmos was really, really amazing in regards to starting with programming. And if you're an older chap like myself, then you might want to start with HTML, because it's extremely easy to learn and it's very fucking powerful at the same time. So again, the way that W3C Schools teaches is by examples. So there's examples in every single chapter, and then at the chapter they usually have like a little quiz or something of that nature. So this HTML tutorial contains hundreds of HTML examples. With our online HTML editor, you can edit the HTML and click on a button to view the result. Kind of like you saw what I was doing with the JavaScript, except it left me completely clueless. Because it had all of this in here, which is HTML, and then it had the JavaScript line. So now let's learn what all of this means and how JavaScript will eventually fit into your HTML. So when you hit try it yourself, the cool thing is it actually pulls up an editor here, and then when you hit run, it outputs it right here. So again, you don't need to have a domain name, you don't need to have and for HTML, all you need is a regular text editor like Notepad, something of that nature. So here it says angle bracket, exclamation mark, doc type, space, HTML, angle bracket, close, HTML head, all that good stuff. So this is what's making all of this run, right? So this is a heading. Where is that in here? And again, HTML is extremely easy. You'll find it right away. So it's right next to this thing that says H1. Oh, this is a heading. Okay, so this is a heading. This is a heading. If you go ahead and you change this here, it will actually change live right there. This is a ITB live heading. And then when you hit run, that will change. So this is a live stream heading, H1 with the angle brackets. And then here, they look a little different. And if you're good at patterns, you're good at stuff like that, you probably notice that they all have this, right? So this is the end of this. This looks kind of like a start, and this looks like an end. And then it says this is a paragraph. So we find over here, this is a paragraph. So P probably stands for paragraph, and H probably stands for heading, right? So it's cool on how basic it is, and again, teaching with example gives you a chance to break everything down, right? So let's see if this changes that, and just by looking at it, you know it's going to change it. Teaching by example is amazing. Will it change it? Boom. Teaching by example is amazing. So another important thing, even though, and I'm not, I guess I'm not trying to pretend like I'm a teacher or I'm great or whatever the case is, but it's always good to have pen and paper, write things down. So the first example, right, we could write this down because again, you want to know if you're going to learn something and you really want to be passionate about it and you want to move forward, you really want to know everything. So HTML is the standard markup language for web pages. That's probably something I'll write down, even though I've written it down previously, but if you want to follow along and write it down, you can. So click on the try it yourself button to see how it works. So did that. Start learning HTML now. So this is just the home thing. This is kind of letting you know. So let's get into the introduction. So we jump into the introduction. HTML is the standard markup language for creating web page. What is HTML? It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It describes the structure of a web page. It consists of a series of elements. Elements. I don't know what the fucking element is, but see if they teach us what that is. HTML elements tell the browser how to display content. Crazy. Next thing they tell us, right? Elements are represented by tags. Tags label pieces of content such as a heading, paragraph, table, and so on. So that thing that we saw earlier in that first example that they had at the home, kind of like trying to sell you on getting started with the tutorial, that P and that H1 was a tag. Browsers do not display the HTML tags, but use them to render the content of the page. So even though HTML is not the type of language that you compile into, for example, an exe file and then run on your computer, but your browser reads it and compiles it essentially and displays it on your screen. So a simple HTML document. Example. Doc type HTML. HTML. Title. Page title. Oh, we haven't seen that. Head. Body. And then here's another heading. So just by looking at this, I feel like it's gonna have like a title here, right? Like it's gonna say page title when the computer or when Mozilla actually registers this. My guess would be that it would put a page title here, and then it has the heading, and then your paragraph, right? Let's try it for yourself. Well, it doesn't show page title at the top. And it's almost a little bit misleading. So what I did from here, I started like where's page title? So I started researching title, just try to figure out what that is. And page title changes the top tab. It changes the actual name of the tab. It doesn't show it in here, but if you were to take a notepad, copy and paste this into your notepad and save it as a .html extension, and then open it, your browser at the top for that tab would read page title. So, for example, at the top of Google, it says Google. So it left me a little bit confused at first, but then after doing a small amount of research, I did find out that it was up here. So again, the way that I'm trying to learn this is by trying to learn everything, and I've been really excited about trying to do it, and I think that by going at this approach where you try to write everything down and you try to look at the history and you try to learn it, and you really stay dedicated, this is going to be something that could really benefit you probably in the near future. So let's keep on going here. So example explained. The doc type, now it's finally telling us what it's about. I like that. So it kind of gives it to you, right? You do a little bit of puzzle, you do a bit of researching, but right here it explains it for you. Which, doing that little bit of research is not bad, because again, you're trying to learn everything about it. So the doc type is a declaration that defines the document to be HTML5. The HTML within here, which is this right here, is an element. And it's the root element of an HTML page. So it's usually or always going to be at the top right under doc type HTML, and then as you see here on the bottom as well. So all the HTML code is within here. So I was like, wow, so if you take this out, is it still gonna run? And yeah, it's still gonna run. And you're probably asking yourself, well, why is it running without all that stuff? And it's because, like other programming languages, HTML is not case sensitive. It allows for a lot of room for margin when it comes to kind of like errors. But going through something like this teaches you how to have good habits when it comes to programming, which is something that Cosmos described in that video. So find a good source of information on where you could learn all this stuff, and then dive into all of it. Don't try to get ahead. Start from the beginning, and you'll probably do extremely well. So I started reading into this, and so now I understand. So even though this doesn't have to be in here, it's the right thing to do. And if in turn you were ever to teach anybody, you wouldn't want to teach them in a sloppy way either. So HTML tags are element names surrounded by angle brackets, just like we saw in the home example. So HTML tags normally come in pairs like P, which stands for paragraph, and then /P, and that's in open and closed angle brackets. The first tag in a pair is the start tag. The second tag is the end tag. The end tag is written like the start tag, but with a / inserted before the tag name. So it said usually, right? Or normally, they come in pairs. So I'm guessing there's going to be exceptions to these rules. And that's kind of like doc type, right? There's no ending doc type. So I guess it's kind of like one of the exceptions to the rule, which is a declaration. So each web browser actually reads code differently. And when you look at different web pages, or if you look at the same page on different web browsers, sometimes it might look a little bit different. It's because of the way that that browser is putting that information out and reading and putting that information out for you to be able to view it. So web browsers. The purpose of a web browser, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari, is to read HTML documents and display them. The browser does not display the HTML tags, but uses them to determine how to display the document, which is kind of like what they were telling us in the home, right? So this is pretty much like the first example that we did up a little bit further up there. So HTML page structure, which is cool. I mean, we use the web every single day. Every single day you're on a web page, whether it's Twetch, whether it's Google, whether it's YouTube. Every single day you're on a web page. And back in the day, this was actually cool to know. Back in the MySpace days, I think Gage was making fun of me for it the other day, because it is true. A lot of, and it might, thinking into it deeper, they probably wanted to cancel out MySpace because they didn't want people to learn. This is how we want you to see your information. No. And that's another great thing about Twetch, is that you're going to be able to make your own custom Twetch if you want. And you need this foundation to learn to do that. Look at Josh Hensley. He's probably going to make tons of money with RetroTwetch. It's like the first mod made off Twetch, and as long as that thing's around, he's going to be making money. His future generations. So learning HTML can make you a lot of money. I was like, I want to make a lot of money. And I heard HTML is easy, and I've done a little bit in the past, and it was easy to learn. So let's look at the structure of HTML. So again, the angle bracket open HTML, head, and then the title, which is, again, the tab at the top. Then you have your body with your headings, your paragraphs, and the end of the body. And then HTML. And if you really, it's as simple as taking it off this page. And again, Josh Hensley, you are the man. Thank you for putting me down with this web page. You can take it here. You can even just go to any of these little editors and understand what it's teaching you. You could run that and it'll run it. So now everything, again, you can see that here. So you see the entire structure from what it was showing you, and now you have a visual on how that structure looked like, on how it broke it down for you. So let's get back down here. And doc types, again, this is the doc type declaration, which is letting the browser know that it's an HTML5 document. So let's go a little bit through the history of hypertext markup language. Since the early days of the World Wide Web, there have been many versions of HTML. So 1989, I was 7 years old at that time, bro. Insane. Tim Berners-Lee invented www. 1991, Tim Berners-Lee invented HTML. 1993, Dave Raggett drafted HTML+. And the history goes on and on and on. And now to present day, which I guess what we're learning right now is HTML 5.2. You can also go over here. Another great resource of information. So, editors. Again, to do HTML is as easy as just opening up a notepad and clicking away. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll just go all the way through elements, and then I'll go into a little bit of some RetroTwetch, and we'll do some Twetch Culture Daily. So step 1 would be open notepad. But in all reality, you don't even have to do that, because I found this amazing website when I was trying to get that widget working on our website uh, for for RelayX.io. And with this web page, it's called HTMLsave, and you don't need a domain. You don't even need your own web page. All you need is a Google account, and you can sign right in, and it gives you one page. That's yours. So I started messing with this yesterday, and again, it was just to prove a point to myself, but it was more of a distraction. Really, I should have continued on with the lessons, but I am still trying to get better myself at focusing. So I started driving myself crazy. Obviously, I probably smoked a few joints, and I'm starting to drive myself crazy, figure out this puzzle, because I'm trying to put this widget onto the web page because you get 30% revenue share from when anybody uses this widget right here to convert shitcoins into BSV. So whatever fees they take, let's say the fee is $1, I guess you get 30 cents. The fees are probably extremely low, which is another thing I want to look into. And I think Dookie tried sending some earlier. I don't know if it went through yet. I'm pretty sure I have all of the refer stuff correct, but I'll try to get in contact with somebody in regards to that to see if there's a delay on how long it takes for you to actually get a referral. So I was like, alright, let me figure this out. And with Hunter being gone for a few days, I haven't been able to get into our actual domain manager or whatever the case is. I haven't been able to get into our Hover account. So doing it through Squarespace is a little bit of a mission. So I started practicing on here. And to get all of this, and I didn't write this all on my own, that's another cool thing about HTML. You can just go in here and, for example, hit inspect element, and it will show you all of the code. And again, HTML is really, really cool because you can look, and not all of this is HTML, you have JavaScript in here as well, but that's why it's so important to learn HTML, in my opinion. So to me, I was like, alright, just copy and paste this and put this on our website. So I was like, alright, let me copy this, go into our website, let's create a new one, let's create a blank page. I'm like, alright, widget time. So let's create a new page here. And then they were like, yeah, just put this in your code, in the footer of your code. And it might work now because I fixed something there, but I don't think this is actually going to do anything. So I click this and I put it into the code, and I'm like, alright, where's the button? Where's the button? Well, before I had it all set up, it wasn't working it wasn't working like this. So now it doesn't want to work. I'm like, why is the button all the way down here? Why doesn't it look as cool as Jack Lose? Like, what the hell am I doing wrong? So that's probably one of the reasons that I went off on trying to conquer that little puzzle, because sometimes that's the way I am. I just try to do everything I possibly can to figure something out, even though that's probably one of my biggest downfalls. So I'm like, alright, so what am I gonna do? And I remember having messed around with HTML in the past. I was like, let me just do this. So I put view page source. I was like, alright, cool. So I'm looking more into it, and here I'm changing this, and I'm like, man, I can't even use hover to upload it, because when I do it through Squarespace, it doesn't work all that well. So I was like, alright. So I started doing a little bit of research, and again, using this site, and I'll show you this one right here. If you hit save HTML, this is the one that I started doing after I figured it out. So I was like, all right. And you can actually just go to the site, and there it is. Right Gang Gang support in the box by BSV. And I had finally figured it out, and I was like, oh my god, this is freaking amazing. And that was without just copy and pasting it. That was, doing a little bit of some legwork. But if you want to make your own refer site like this and literally host it on this HTMLsave thing, turn it into a Google, use Google to shorten it, you can literally use that to promote yourself for people that necessarily can't tip, but they want to buy BSV, and they're like, all right, well, I have some USDC, or I have some Ethereum, or I have some BTC that I want to exchange. I'll use, Meme God's little refer site, that refer link that he has, and then he would make 30% off of the transaction. So if you go right here, all you have to do is hit view page source, copy all of that, and then you come to your HTMLsave, update site, edit homepage, and then it gives you, and it's super cool because it color coordinates everything with classes and all that good stuff. You hit paste, and now the important thing when you're doing it on your own, what you're gonna want to do is all these where it says black, I guess, is the default that it sends it to. So what you do is you hit black, and there's 5 matching, so we'll change this one. Like we'll do, you can change it to a money button as well, as long as it has to be a pay mail is what it says there. Oh, I just screw up. So you change all those out. So for example, in the box at moneybutton.com, we're gonna copy, paste that. Find the next one. See, relay out by widget container, and then this is where it's sending that refer to. So we're gonna change that to in the box money button. In the box money button, right? Is what I'm assuming, or is what I thought, right? So I'm changing all of this at the time, and I'm changing all this, and I'm going through it. So this has to have a 1 because it's and then you hit save HTML. So after you copied the source, so you're basically just stealing it, essentially, right? And switching out a couple words. So let's go to our updated site here and let's see what it looks like. Boom. We have a copy of it, but I'm like, what the hell? Why is this not working, right? Because I copied the source. Well, now you take this and you copy it and you put it in the settings here. If I remember correctly, that's what made it work, if I remember correctly. So you hit save HTML. So now after you did all that, right, go to your site. Okay, never mind. Okay. Let's see. I think I know what I did wrong. So, view page source. And then hit copy. And I think what I had done wrong at the time was there's one thing that you had to put on there that for some reason it wasn't it wasn't working. I was like, why isn't this working? And I think it was just because of this simple button. And again, it was more of a puzzle to me, and I still don't know what everything means. But see if I got it right this time. Okay. So it was, hold on, inspect page source. I probably look like a fool right now. I think it was this one. Edit as HTML. And then let's see if I got it now. Let's see if I got it this time. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Div. So I think that should have fixed it now. Let's check it out this time. So again, I had put all that in and I figured, all right, cool, I could just rip this guy off, right? And just change the little things. Oh man, all right. Whatever the case is. I had figured it out yesterday, but this is the point that I'm trying to make. Is for me, one of my biggest things for learning is getting distracted. And I feel like I always want to jump ahead. So this has been like my biggest problem. And even though it was almost like a compulsion for me to figure it out yesterday, and I'll show it to you guys over here, and I'll leave a post for that in the description. That way you can just go ahead and use something like HTMLsave and just go ahead and make your own widget, and you could promote it and hopefully earn a little bit of BSV. But let's go a little bit more into it. And again, distractions for me is one of my biggest things that keeps me away from learning. And by writing things down, by trying to stay more focused, and just having that mindset of wanting to learn everything about it, I think is going to help me with that. So even though I know I'm obviously not perfect, nobody is perfect, a little distraction like that in the past would have been something that discouraged me, because I would have said, damn, I spent a whole night on trying to figure it out, and then I can't even teach somebody how to do it. So I'll go over a little bit more as far as just going into basics, and I'll get to the start of elements, and then I'll go over a little bit of RetroTwetch. But I just wanted to kind of be able to tell people that anybody can do this. And right now, with all this stuff going on, find something, whether it's programming, whether it's something to do that's going to make you better. And when another situation, or if another, God forbid, another situation like this arises, you'll be ready to go ahead and have a game plan. For example, I had done very, very well at saving, and I had made really, really good decisions with my money, and I've always had a lot of pride. So I never went for unemployment, any of that stuff. And now, because I am stuck in a position where I've done hospitality most of my life, that something like this would have been a great backup. So this really inspired me. People like Spiff saying, you know what, at least if you're stuck at home, fucking do something about it. And people like Josh Hensley that actually do it are an inspiration. So I hope. Oh, Trisha One Love, what up? Let me know if you want to jump on. Anyone who wants on tonight? No. Alright. So let's go over this basic stuff, and let's get on with RetroTwetch, and we'll go into Twetch Culture Daily. Woo! Twetch Culture fucking Daily. Alright. I'm in. So, HTML basic examples. So in this chapter, we will show some basic examples. Don't worry if we use tags you have not learned about yet. See, this is again going back to the distractions. I like that it almost like could read my mind, and it tells me don't worry about about things in here that you might not know. You don't have to worry about researching it, because if you follow this guideline, you will learn everything there is to know. So HTML documents. All HTML documents must start with a document type declaration. Doc type HTML. But again, we saw that earlier, so this is almost like a lie, right? It is a lie because you don't need it, because it'll still put it out. But it is just it's good habits to do. The HTML document itself begins with angle bracket HTML close angle bracket and ends with angle bracket / HTML closed angle bracket. The visible part of the HTML document, like it mentioned before, is that web browsers don't read the tag. It's between body and body, right? So here's another example. Doc type, declaring the document as an HTML. Hypertext markup language. The body, my first heading, my first paragraph, and then the closing of the body before HTML, right? Because this is all usually the first one that you're gonna put on right under doc type, and it's also gonna be the last one. So in my head, I'm picturing it just like we saw it earlier, but just to double check. Yeah, exactly like the first one. So HTML headings are defined with the H1 to H6 tags. So H1 defines the most important heading. H6 defines the least important heading. This is heading 1. This is heading 2. This is heading 3. Well, how does it determine? It doesn't look any different here, right? So let's see how Mozilla Firefox would read that. Okay, boom. And, oh, here on the side, this is heading 1. So heading 1, by default, is a bigger font. Heading 2 is a little bit smaller. Heading 3, a little smaller than that. Heading 4, a little bit smaller than that. 5 and 6, the same way, smaller and smaller. I wonder if that's only important. I mean, what does it mean by importance? Just looks like one is bigger than the other. I'm sure there's ways that you could change the font without having to do heading, right? Maybe it's just more convenient. Well, if you keep on learning this, you'll find out what the difference between heading 1 and heading 6 is. HTML paragraphs. HTML paragraphs are designed with the angle bracket P, close angle bracket tag. P, or example, P, this is a paragraph, and then I'm not going to keep saying angle bracket, but / P, so we know it's closed. This is another paragraph. So just the way it looks, right? No difference. HTML links are defined with the A tag. So A href equals, see, this is where things almost start looking confusing, right? Like, what is all this stuff? And then this is a link. So let's really break it down. So we know that usually the content that displays is after an angle bracket that's closed and before an opened angle bracket that's part of the closing, right? So it's in between the start and ending tag. So this is a link, and then we know this is the tag for link, but I don't know what this is, href. So I'm guessing this is the web page. So I'm guessing it's gonna be a link, kind of like underlined, like you're used to seeing, right? Blue. and then it's gonna say, or it's gonna take you to the site. So yeah, here's the link. Cool, cool. And it takes you within that page over here. That's freaking awesome. The link's destination is specified in the href attribute. So this means it's a link. This is the destination, and the destination equals quotation mark https semicolon / the website, and then just like I said, it's going to be right there. This is the actual content. So this is the link, and this is what you're calling this link. Attributes are used to provide additional information about HTML elements. So this is an element, this is an attribute. So that's always good to know. So attributes are used to provide additional information about elements. HTML images are defined with the angle bracket image and close angle bracket tag. The source file, source, alternative text, alt, width, and height are provided as attributes. So image is what it is, and then the source file, this is where this image is coming from, and we could even double check that. You can just hit open link in new tab, and yeah, takes you exactly to that web page. But there's nothing to see there because it's just a JPEG. So the alternate would actually take you here. I'm sorry. This is the JPEG, which is a source, so it's not a web page. This is an actual source for where the JPEG would be located on their server. And then this is, I'm guessing, the web page. So if this doesn't show up, then this shows up. Cool. So HTML images, which is a header, and it uses the second one, I guess because they wanted a smaller font. HTML images are defined with the image tag. Image source. And let's see what happens if we take this out. It says alt, so I'm guessing that's alternative, right? So let's just mess around with it. Oh, yeah. So if the image happens to get deleted, something happens, it gives you an alternative. That's pretty cool. And then I'm assuming this is the height and width of the actual image, right? So let's hit run. Let's hit refresh, yeah. And then let's try it again. Let's cut that image in half, see if it works. Oh. Yeah, cool. So you can change the width and the size, everything. So as you notice, after the element, you have an attribute, which is color-coded in red here. Then you have another attribute. Then you have another attribute, and then here you have the close bracket, right? So you know that this is all one element with its different attributes in it. Just this thing right here. Pretty cool. HTML buttons are defined with the button tag. Oh, easy enough. Button, click me, button. So try it yourself. HTML buttons. I wonder what the button does. Doesn't look like it does anything, right? Just HTML buttons is this heading. Paragraph, and then button, click me. Yep, does nothing. For once I'm right. HTML lists. HTML lists are defined with the UL, unordered, or bullet lists, or the OL, ordered list, ordered numbered list. Tag followed by LI, tags, list items. Oh, okay, cool. So, unordered bullet lists. So I'm assuming that So they have the angle brackets here, UL, and then LI, like it said. So they have, this is like an element within an element, right? So this is the main element, and then it's like a sub element. I don't even know. So I'm guessing it's gonna have it kind of like with these little dots here. And then an ordered or numbered list, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Let's see. So yeah, boom. Just as expected. You change this around. Read. You change this to no specific order, right? And then here we got money. Oh, Scarface right here, huh? Alright, let's run that. Oh, cool. And it's cool that you could actually move around with it, do everything, and it changes it on the fly, like right there in front of your face. So it's extremely easy to learn. I love this whole learn by example thing. I think it's a great, great way that they do this. So I think we're almost done here, guys. Are we? Yeah. So we'll get into the definition of elements. Just kind of go over the definition, and we'll go into RetroTwetch after that. That sounds good to you all. Whoop whoop. All right. So HTML elements. An element is defined by a start tag, some content, and an end tag. An HTML element usually consists of a start tag and an end tag with the content inserted between them. So like we were seeing earlier, right, with the paragraph, right? Tag name would be P, content, my first paragraph, and then the closing. The HTML element is everything from the start tag to the end tag. So start tag, element, content, end tag. And didn't they say earlier, normally elements have a pair, right? A start and an end. Well, this one doesn't. So we'll probably find out what this is in a moment. And then we'll leave a few likes on some RetroTwetch and check out Boostpow. Big shout outs to my boy Josh with that Boostpow. And if you haven't gotten bored yet, and if you have stuck around, I can't see chat right now because I'm going through all of this and kind of on my own here. But if you're sticking around right now and you're really enjoying this, and you haven't fallen asleep and you aren't bored, thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying it. So, nested HTML elements. HTML elements can be nested. I don't know what the hell that means. Elements can contain elements. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That was kind of like we were saying, I think it was in basic, right? At the end of basic. Like elements within elements, right? So, you got the unordered list, and then you have your li, which is the list. But that's an element, and it's an element within an element. That's what you call elementception, y'all. Elementception. So, going through this, kind of gives you a little bit of, tells you a little bit about what we've been doing here. So now we know that nested elements is kind of like an unordered list, right? So you have an unordered list, which is an element, and then you have the list within it. Elements can contain elements.
All HTML documents consist of nested HTML elements. Well, that makes sense, right? Didn't even think about that. HTML is an element, right? Within an element. And heading is an element within the body element. So yeah, I guess it made it more clear when I looked at it through the unordered, but yeah, that makes sense. All HTML elements, the HTML element is always going to have elements within inside of it. Example explained, the HTML element defines the whole document. It has a start tag and an end tag. Inside the HTML element is the body element, which we saw previously, right? They didn't really talk about it. They were talking more about other things, but you saw it in there. The body element defines the document body. It has a start tag and an end tag as well. Inside the body element is two other elements, H1 and P. So again, what I really like is, I know we keep looking at H1 and P and HTML and document type, but the fact that they drill it into you so much is why you're gonna learn this. And repetition and doing it over and over and over again is, like the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. Again, another good thing is writing down as you go along. If you write down, it's gonna be easier for you to remember. And I've been trying to write down everything lately. Everything. So if you guys do end up getting a little bit of inspiration and wanting to check out something like HTML, definitely write it down, because there is a ton of stuff to learn, as you guys can see here. A ton, just a ton of things. So let's kind of wrap this part up here. The HTML undefined heading, boom, and do not forget the end tag. Again, what I really like about this is that it teaches you good habits. You make a little bit of a mistake, right? Let's say you forget to put the end tag, right? On this paragraph right here, HTML is kind of forgiving. It's still gonna display the same thing, right? So it's still gonna display it and just show you. It's kind of forgiving, right? So as a starter, it's less frustrating to learn, because you're not gonna run into that many errors, right? Say you mess up the end tag, it's not really gonna mess it up. Now you do this, then it will, right? You're gonna be like, oh, and then you'll realize it, but at least it's more of like a little syntax error as opposed to your entire thing not working, right? And then from there you can kind of figure it out and you say, wow, I'm missing my end tag there. But again, it's forgiving and it allows you to learn. It's a great way to get into it without getting discouraged and learning programming, because it is fun when you build and create and you do it right in front of your face, and you use something like HTMLsave and it makes it super freaking easy. So every HTML elements with no contents are called empty elements. So now we know about elements. We know about nested elements, which are elements within elements. And then we have empty elements. So we saw that BR earlier, right? Up here. And I remember from earlier it said normally it has a start and an end tag. Well, I guess BR is not normally, is it? So let's find out what BR is. So BR is an empty element without a closing tag. The BR tag defines a line break. Cool. So without even clicking this, let's leave it up to the one other person that's probably watching this, but whatever. If you're watching this, it's because you're enjoying this and it's because you do want to learn. So tell me what you think the output is going to be on here. Got about few moments to look at that. And then we'll get into some RetroTwetch. A bit of updates that have been going on with that. And we'll do Twetch Culture fucking Daily. And again, if there is anybody in the chat that wants to jump in, let me know. We'll do it. Alright. So what do you guys think this is going to look like? So we got the paragraph. This is a, and then this is that line break thing, right? So it's probably like hitting the enter button, right? So this is a, and then paragraph, or you got the BR, paragraph with a line break. So probably going to be like this is a, and then like hitting the enter button, and then paragraph with a line break is going to be down here. We'll see if we're right. Yeah, cool. So what if we put another one in there? What if we do this? What if we accidentally forget and we just do it by accident, right? We put a line break in it, right? Is it gonna screw us up? Kind of makes it weird, right? And why isn't it the same color as this? So the cool thing is, and if you have a decent text editor, I would suggest you get something like Atom or ATO, it's spelled ATOM, or Notepad++. And the cool thing is it does these little color things, so you're like, oh, that's right, I remember learning that. Doesn't take it. So run, and it's the same thing, because again, it is kind of forgiving, right? So do that, boom, and then even if you put it in the wrong way, it still runs it, right? It does the extra break in there, even though you put a close on it. So the cool thing again, you're probably not going to get frustrated learning HTML. You'll probably end up running into errors that you didn't expect to be there, but it's not going to be, there's probably going to be a good chance that it's not going to break whatever you're learning, especially at, you know, the very beginning of learning HTML. And it's extremely powerful. In a time like this, right now, I really need to start saving those $30 a month on Squarespace. So, HTML is an amazing way to do that. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the little HTML with the meme pimp. But let's get into something cooler than that. Let's jump into some RetroTwetch for a moment. So now that we've at least accomplished a little bit, we can go have some fun, right? So RetroTwetch has been outfitted with a brand new feature. Oh, retro watches. Whoops. RetroTwetch has been fitted with a brand new feature. A star. So they have a heart, they got the star, then they got the symbol. What is the star? The star is freaking Boostpow. Josh Hensley, big ups to you, man. This has been so fun. So, not only do you get 10 cents if you're posting on OSG and somebody likes it, or if somebody, yeah, if you just use the tag in regular Twitch, somebody likes it from OSG, you're probably gonna make a little bit of money. And then he implemented Boostpow. So now you could either go by most recent, and look, Francesco Morejo. So here boosting the content is possible, and on Twitch not yet. This retro is kind of modern, and you know what? That is big up. We are gonna let's spend some energy on there. Let's do that. Why don't we? Oh, hold on. Probably just my actual web. Let's close all this up. $0.17. Boom. Let's see how much boost that'll give. Boost job queued transaction ID. Awesome. Probably gonna be mined pretty quick. 17 cents. That's a nice amount. So I guess it takes a little bit of time. I had $10 on my post here. Go finding before others how to solve the game. Francesco Morejo is crushing it on this OSG. Actually, last month I was playing Super Ghosts and Goblins, and I remembered it so well. Hooked on Cities Skyline. I like this one by Pix. This was dope. I think I had already left him on. That is so cool. So I'm guessing this is the amount of boost, right? So somebody probably did the same thing that I just did. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm guessing it has to be mined before it shows up on here. I just love the fact, just like Francesco said over here, that Josh Hensley, he knows how to code HTML, he knows how to code CSS, he knows how to code JavaScript, he probably knows how to do a whole bunch more. And look, he is crushing it. And I guarantee you, his money button notifications or whatever he's using do not stop from this RetroTwetch. Let's see what else we got in the RetroTwetch. Oh, okay, yeah, this. Oh, okay. Because I did from there, I guess it didn't branch. I thought to branch something, you just put the. And it was. I thought it was the perfect OSG post. The name's Bond. James Bond. Jacob, you missed out, bro. This would have been a great post on OSG. Just saying. Alright, let's see what we are messing with here. What else we got? Arcade. Yeah, Gas Giant. Summoning Hash Power. I freaking love Josh, dude. He's hilarious. Just do that. I mean, this is just so fun to use. Why use Twetch when you could play Twetch, right? This is freaking awesome. Guess we'll go through a few more posts. Then I'm gonna take a quick, like 3-4 minute break, and I'm gonna jump into Twetch Culture. There's a lot of great posts out there. I hope you guys enjoy the episode tonight. Oh, that scared the hell out of me. That just jumped in my ear. So, he got the tip, my boy. Look at this, man. Francesco's doing big things. Alright. So, quick break, go guys. And then what I'll go ahead and do is come back with Twetch Culture Daily. If there's anybody in the chat that wants to join in for Twetch Culture Daily, holler at your boy. Holler at your boy. And we'll get it done. Quick break. Let's go. Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy with Twetch Culture Daily Live. Another episode. This is where you can catch up on all things Twetch culture, whether it's news, arts, memes, learning how to do HTML from somebody who doesn't know how to do HTML. This is where you can catch up on all those good things. If you're not on Twetch yet, leave a comment. We'll help you get on board it. You all know the drill. Let's jump right into this thing. So, starting off over here. Oh, boom. Go to this first Twetch over here. Time to restore confidence and quality into the Twetch user experience. We launch a lot of experimental features and new wallet experiences. Every touch on Twetch is a microtransaction. Now it's time to polish. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sick. I'm pretty hyped about this. I don't know what you guys think about that, but that sounds pretty good. I mean, all the stuff that has been dropping is amazing. We must stay sharp if we want to win this game. Damn right. They got us with this quarantine lockdown bullshit. Trying to fucking dumb us down. This poor lady gets arrested for trying to feed her kids. Damn right we gotta stay sharp. Communism is right around the corner, guys. Communism is fucking coming. Be ready, cause they ain't playing no fucking games. We got my dog Boss. Can y'all find and tag all Twetchians in this picture? I think somebody said this was a fucking masterpiece. Boss always has the most amazing puzzles, and he sent us like 3 of the best puzzles ever, and he hasn't even used it on his own. We were supposed to use these puzzles the last few episodes. I don't know how it kept getting swept under the rug, but man, he blew this thing away, and he's given away money on this thing too, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So we got Cosmos right there. We got Degan right there. Tramp. Who else we got? It's not Craig, is it? Is that Wall Street 5? We got my boy Daz. We got what else we got here? We got Animal. Look at Animal. Animal's in control. Got Inside Out. We got Danny Trejo right there. Randy. Calvin Air. Brand new to the Twetch fam. Like the fact that he left a post. That was awesome. I actually left him a follow. I even branched it. It's like if this guy leaves if this guy posts something, I'm gonna drop a little bit of a like. So now I'm hoping, Calvin, if you see this, I hope you continue to post. It was a pretty dope post. Beautiful fucking house. Very happy for you. Everybody should be happy for him. Living like that. Gotta be happy. We got Majoni. We got Dookie Love. We got Ben. Austin. We got Brett Banff, aka Manifestable. Alex a Gut. Alex, really look forward to having you on here to talk to you about all things hand cash. Look at all the response this has gotten. Look at all this. Oh man, he's giving away cash to see cash. Animal says, I want this hanging on my wall. I think you can count Optimus Prime as customized. Yep, I would say so. Animal making that money. Man, boss making that bread. Amazing freaking Twetch. Let's just get one last look at it before I put this thing away for right now. But fucking great work. Look at that thing. That is a masterpiece. Would that be like Mark Wilcox or Coin Alchemist? Like the 21E8 Magic Wizard thing, right? Pretty fucking dope. Oh, and we got this. This was probably one of my favorite Twetches today because I felt like there's so much potential in it, and people are already doing stuff on their own. Twetch is gonna have to step their fucking game up. Josh Hensley is a one-man guy, and he already incorporated Boostpow on freaking RetroTwetch. Big ups. I know I keep giving him praises, but he deserves them. So to expand upon leaderboard, create a records page. Most branched Twetch, most liked Twetch, most Twetches, most earned. Each category has a top 5. Number 1 in each category gets a badge tagged to their account. Badges are held on a monthly basis. I like that idea. I think you could probably even expand it more. Maybe you have like a champion's badge for the number 1 person, and then for the second person you have like a a silver badge or whatever the case is, or but yeah, it would be pretty cool like if the person who has the most earned gets like a most earned badge that would be different from the person below him, like in second place or third place or whatever the case is. But Spiff, knowing Spiff, he goes on. This forms a Hall of Fame page where the winner of each category is tagged each month for a yearly tally. Number of badges earned on a specified basis, maybe annually, determines, dare I say this, the presidential cabinet. Fucking love this. Maybe that's why he had that little meme thing going on earlier. I think I'm part of the cabinet. Sweet. I'm loving it. Ba 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 ba. I'm loving it. Big things happening on Twitch. I don't know. It felt like Twitch was a little bit slow today for some reason. But there's still quality. Still quality posts. Love it. Spiff says, build it. Randy's laughing. I didn't see Spiff reply, so I don't think he intended that to be funny. Why don't we just leave that out there? I don't think he intended that to be funny. By the way, I'm missing Hunter like fucking crazy. Hunter, I hope you watch this. I hope you get all my freaking correspondences that I've sent out to you. The waves that I sent out into the universe. I hope you get it all. I miss you, brother. Wish I could talk to you today. Really do. So, let's go here. I really like this too. This was pretty cool because this is the type of Twetch that makes you think, right? If I was world dictator, I would dictate that every human has the right to choose what to do with his money / property, regardless of whether his decisions lead to his own detriment or progress. What I saw in this is more than just a question, because nobody really knows. Like, what would you do if you're in that spot, right? Do you really know what you would do? It's like, if I had $1 billion, I would do this, and that, but come down to it, you have $1 billion, is that really what you're gonna do? I would hope that if I was put in a spot of ultimate power, excuse me, that I would do the right thing. But what I liked about the line as well too was just whether it's in regards, whether those decisions are gonna lead people to their detriment or to their progress. And it's pretty deep, because it's, if you don't do the right thing with your life, your choices, your investments, your properties, whatever you can to expand with, then you're gonna fail. Maybe in the short term, right? Depending on how fast you bounce back up. But everybody's gonna have some type of downs and ups in life. That's a roller coaster. But all these posts that have been coming out lately is people have just been thinking so deep and so big about everything. And Cosmos said briefly that if he was elected president, for example, by like a write-in vote, that he'd cancel excuse me, that he'd like cancel the debt or something and then just abdicate. So I like these type of questions that really make you think. I mean, I pray that God would give me the strength to be a good dictator. Is there such thing as a good dictator? Cash coming out with some dope Twetch goodness. I'm gonna have to use this somewhere. This is pretty dope. Figure it out. Maybe I'll use it on the new website once I upgrade it. Now that I'll be able to do everything exactly how I want it and not be restricted by Squarespace and all their whackness. See my boy Spiff another like. He's been giving out money today too. Help you replenish a little bit, buddy. And then here, my boy, RetroTwetch Ads Curation by Boostpow. Click here to create a boost job. Check the status at boostpow.com/job/transactions. So that was what we did earlier, right? To check the transactions, or whatever the case is. No, something went wrong. I'll check it out later. Really want to get more into this, but guys, if you have not used RetroTwetch yet, or if you're not following Josh Hensley yet, yeah, you're missing out on tons and tons of great information. This just looked so amazing. Always love a little bit of videos in my feed. It's always fun. And Sundance looked pretty freaking amazing, even though it's love that. Soothing. I don't know if you could hear the music right now, but it's pretty freaking kind of like fits the beat, right? Big ups. Love seeing shit like this. Great quality. I don't know, I just don't like watching regular TV type shit. I don't like your standard Hollywood shit. Like stuff like this. Pretty cool. Yeah, no, I'm swiping, whatever. Sue me. So this was, let's get a little bit into some of the funny shit. This was hands down freaking hilarious. So, COVID guy fishing for his own food, right? Because supermarkets suck. Of course, the cops are gonna come, fucking ruin his party. They show up, and this is what they fucking find. One person on a fucking beach. And again, I haven't confirmed to see if this is in regards to the whole COVID thing right now. But one fucking person on a beach and they're gonna harass him. One mannequin on a fucking beach. that was fucking hilarious. Great job, Urban. Nice post. Salty, always coming through with that fire. That fire. Wonder how old this is. I think this was Saul Alinsky or something that wrote this. Yeah. How to Create a Social State by Saul Alinsky. Yeah. So, There are 8 levels of control that must be obtained. Pay attention. Healthcare, poverty, debt, gun control, welfare, education, religion, class warfare. This is exactly what we're going through in modern day America. Does any of this sound like what is happening to the United States? Yes. This is Vladimir Lenin's original scheme for world conquest by communism. Under Russian rule, Stalin described his converts as useful idiots. Check this out. The useful idiots have destroyed every nation in which they have seized power and control. It is presently happening at an alarming rate in the US. It's difficult to free fools from the chains they revere. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But gonna get into a few first-time Twetchers. There's been so many. I know we didn't do Twetch Culture Daily yesterday, having Degan on. By the way, if you haven't seen the Degan interview that me engaged with him, it's fucking amazing. Watch it right after this. It is super dope. There's a bunch of other videos you can find on here that are amazing. The Cosmos, getting started with programming. The Coin Alchemist in Cosmos, where they're going at it about ASICs and GPUs. There's so much fire content you could find on here. I hope you guys enjoyed it today as well. A lot of new Twetchers. We always have a rule on here on In The Box when it comes to Twetch Culture Daily. If it's its default, we don't usually leave a like. So I rather leave a like for this dude right here, Twetch Get SVs, that actually put a little bit of effort into it. And he used hashtag for his first one, everything. Sweet! Yeah, I know, guys. Whatever. It's a freaking money button, alright? Fucking hate this slow ass fucking money button. I hope Alex, when you come on here, I hope you give us good news that you're incorporating hand cash into Twetch. A lot of good posts, a lot of good first time twetching. Joy. It's perfect. The name is so fitting for the post and the avatar, everything. Perfect. Big ups, Joy. Leaving you a follow even though it's taken forever. Deserve it. See what else we got here. To reform the world without discovering one's true self is like trying to cover the world with fur to avoid the pain of walking on stones. Lao Tzu. I'm sorry I acted out. Your incompetence surprised me. I need to work on that. Digging that. I am digging that. But is what it is. Thank you for sticking around. If you made it this far, check us out at twetchcast.com. You can mail us at inthebox@moneybutton.com. You can email us regular bullshit emails at inthebox@twetchcast.com. twetchcast.com/buybsv. You can trade in your shit coins and you can get BSV directly from our site. It helps us out. You support